And now, a piece from the memoir. Jersey City, the only place we can get thrown up the stairs. On WOIN, the local radio station, the saying went, Jersey City to Jersey, where the boy sits on the curb and eats the worm. Or they'd come on the air and say, I would have been here sooner, but the lights were against me. And to that I'd say, where were you, the red light district? It all sounds better with a Jersey accent. I'll give you some old Jersey sayings. If someone was bothering you and you wanted them to go away, you'd say to them, hey, go home and tell your mother. She wants you. Or, if my mother was busy and I'd ask her what she was doing, she'd say, I'm climbing up the lamppost backwards. Yo-yo, of course, was the derogatory term in those days. He's a real yo-yo. Some of the Italian floating around in the Jersey City air was, hey, Jadru, Duzzy Potts. Which translated to, hey, cucumber, you're crazy. Pazza. It's what the Anglo term, potty. It's crazy. Pazza, potty. Andiamo, via presto was let's go fast, and presto changio domino, presto changio domino was a saying from when my mother was a kid, but I don't know what it means. In Jersey, you would never say, did you eat? You just say, cheat. In the 1920s, someone would punch you and say, that for nothing, imagine if you did something. This was a story from my mother's time. And it reminds me of the time that your parents would sit around and tell you stories and you could relate like you were there with them. The landscape wasn't so different. Not anymore, though. These kids can't relate from week to week. It's now, baby, now. That's what everyone used to say in the 60s. I never knew it would come true. I remember the Mae West lines from the movies. Mae West was from Brooklyn. She'd say, that sounds like a slam, but coming from you, I'll let it pass. In the 1920s, a slam was a common word for an insult. Did you ever see the movie All About Eve? I hate to say it, but I didn't see a backpack or headphones. I didn't see anyone wearing jeans. I didn't see anyone swigging water from a bottle. I saw hats with veils. I saw elegance. I saw hairstyles that complemented their appearance. Believe me, Bohemia is not elegant. It's not supposed to be. But the non-elegance you see today isn't even Bohemian. It's immature. It's a struggle to stay young, which fails. Comedians live the longest of any art form, according to my observations. Poets die young. So if you write poetry, make sure it's comedic. I used to see these old burlesque comedians in Manhattan years later, and they were still around into their 80s and 90s. I was 20 years old, and I thought the Shik's was an electric razor. You'd have to know that the Schick was a brand of razors, electric razors back in the day, am I right? If you don't know that, you don't get the joke, I'm sorry. Because otherwise it's just totally hilarious. I'm going to do it again so I can stay young. I was 20 years old and I thought a Schick's was an electric razor. A Shiksa, by the way, is a female who is not Jewish. Now that I've explained it, we can laugh, right? Excuse me?
I said, but it also has an electric razor.
Shiksas always, they're blonde, they have electric razors, and...
Big boobs.
Thank you. No, Shiksas don't have big boobs.
They don't disqualify.
They don't have electric razors either, necessarily. It's a joke.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah, if anybody knows, it would be her. I was hoping somebody would say, and a mop.
Shiksas do not have mops, they have maids.
I think that was a Henny Youngman line. And he lived to be 91. There was a Jewish comedy team, Smith and Dale. They gave themselves Anglo names and spoke with Yiddish accents. They do a doctor routine. You the doctor? Now I really feel sick. Have you heard this before? Well, you got it again. And does it hurt when you do this? Then don't do that. The name of the doctor was Dr. Krankheit. Krankheit means illness in German. He was always telling the patient, take off the coat, my boy. This act is where I get my inspiration. I tell people, Dr. Krankheit is my GP, but Dr. Kevorkian, that's my specialist. Milton Berle loved to make jokes about the politicians who were part Jewish but didn't own up to it. He always called FDR President Rosenfeld. According to New York Jewish rumor, Roosevelt did have Dutch Jewish ties in his background. Berle, I'll give you, I've already done. Berle called Winston Churchill Weinstein Churchill. Weinstein Churchill. That was based on a photograph the press brought out with Churchill's grandfather in a Jewish hat. Well, I watch these comedians now, today's stand-up comedians, and I don't find them funny. They get up there, they think that if they're deliberately vulgar, they're funny. But their jokes don't really wrap around anything. I mean, like current events or daily living. They don't see the humor in life. They think they're supposed to invent humor. You can't invent humor. Me, I find more comedy in daily life than in comedy. I find more human drama in the nightly news than in the fictional dramas. Richard Leck, here's to you. I guess we're all Richard Leck, huh?
Thanks everyone for coming, and I'm really deeply grateful to the readers for bringing Richard alive for the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.